People of the State of Michigan versus Christine Maxbauer. I am Judge Van Alst from the 84th District Court, back again. Today was scheduled for a pretrial. Could we have appearances, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Joseph Hubble, I'm appearing on behalf of the people of the State of Michigan by assignment by the Attorney General.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Chris Cook, appearing on behalf of the defendant, Christine Maxbauer.
Thank you. Gentlemen, is there a resolution in this matter?
I believe so, Your Honor. Mr. Cook and I have had numerous discussions about this case. We did meet and have our pretrial today, and it's my understanding Ms. Maxbauer is going to plead to the charge contained in count 1, which is the only charge.
Mr. Cook, is that an accurate statement of the plea agreement?
That is, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Maxbauer, is that the agreement you made also?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Maxbauer, I know how we do things in the 84th District Court. I don't know how we do them here. Did you read and sign an advice of rights form?
Yes.
She did, Your Honor, at the first
At the first appearance. Do you remember that form? It talked about your trial rights and your right to an attorney. Do you remember reading that form?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that if you plead guilty and your plea is accepted, you're giving up your trial rights and you wouldn't have a trial of any kind?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right? Would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
To the charge that on or about July 7, 2016 in Traverse City, Grand Traverse County, Michigan, you operated a vehicle on a highway West Front Street while under the influence of alcoholic liquor or having an alcohol content of 0.08 grams or more per 100 milliliters of blood, contrary to the law. How do you plead?
Guilty.
Has anyone threatened you to get you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything to get you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Is it your own free choice to plead guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell me what happened on July 7 that makes you guilty.
Your Honor, I had been experiencing an extraordinarily stressful week. That is not an excuse so much as as an admission that alcohol is not the answer for stress in any situation. I used extremely poor judgment. I had several family emergencies, and I had no intention that afternoon of going out of the house. I received a telephone call from a family member, and the alcohol clouded my judgment. Clearly, it was wrong. There's no excuse for it. This is the result.
None of that tells me what you did that was illegal. None of that
I
tells me what you
drank
did
a
that was
bottle of wine, Your Honor.
Okay, so where were you when you drank the wine?
I was at home.
Where is home?
503 West 8th Street, Traverse City, Michigan.
In the city?
Yes, ma'am.
So you drank some wine and then did you get in your car and drive somewhere?
Yes, I was in my car on my way out to my sister's.
All right.
She lives on Barney Road, and the route I took was West Front Street.
And what happened?
I hit a vehicle. I sideswiped a vehicle.
Okay. And were the police called then?
Yes, Your Honor, they were.
Counsel, is there a stipulation as to her alcohol level?
Your Honor, we know what the MSP blood draw was, and if I can state for the record, Mr. Cook,
You may.
it was 0.137, I believe. Correct, 137.
All right. The court believes there's a factual basis to accept the plea. It is accepted. Ms. Maxbauer, you're found guilty of operating while intoxicated. I understand that we will schedule this for sentencing and PSI will be requested.
Your Honor, if I may, in discussions with Mr. Hubble, I asked whether or not it would be possible to sentence Ms. Maxbauer today.
Do you have a substance abuse assessment?
Yes, we did submit one we had one done, and it's been submitted to the court. It
I
should
do
be
not
in the
have
court. It should be in the court.
All right, let's take a brief recess and let me look that over and
And I told Mr. Cook I wouldn't object. We've sent our notices out to the persons whose car was struck, and we have not heard anything back in terms of a restitution amount. And I indicated to Mr. Cook if there was gonna be an issue with restitution, I would just notify the court in the future. And I'll also state for the record that, Ms. Maxbauer does not have any prior criminal record. Her driving record reflects a 2009 speeding ticket.
All right, brief recess and we'll reconvene shortly. All right, we're back on the record on 16-3561 SD, People of the State of Michigan versus Christine Maxbauer. The court took a brief recess to review the substance abuse assessment, which I have done. Counsel, have you each had a chance to review that and you've reviewed it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, I have, and my client and I have reviewed that as well.
Are there any corrections to that report?
There are none.
And gentlemen, it is your desire to proceed to sentencing today?
It is, Your Honor, sorry, sir.
That's fine, and I have also reviewed the alcohol assessment, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Cook, any elocution?
Yes, Your Honor, if I may. Your Honor, I think that what happened on July 7th of 2016 was totally out of character for Ms. Maxbauer. She's never had any prior problems with drinking and driving related offenses. She has no prior criminal history. I think there's possibly one speeding ticket. I would say to the court that Ms. Maxbauer has confided in me that she was having some pretty serious family issues at this point in time. I think it was the perfect storm of family issues. I think the court, based on the review of the alcohol assessment document, can understand that Ms. Maxbauer was more than just a sister to her brothers and sisters, but she was principally had the role of raising them from a young age. And I will say to the court that the issues involved her mother and her sister. She had decided that day, after dealing with some of these issues in the morning, to just stay at home. That's when she started drinking some wine, as I understand it. And then, of course, there was a phone call that she viewed as an emergency. Under the circumstances, it certainly did not require her to leave that day. She thought it would be in her best interest to respond to that emergency situation involving her sister, and got in the car. And that's where she made a bad decision. She's well aware of that, and she's willing to accept the consequences associated with that, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Hubble?
Your Honor, I've reviewed the recommendation, and one reason I agreed to go forward with the sentencing, as Mr. Cook indicated, is that Ms. Maxbauer doesn't have a criminal history. There were three recommendations contained in the assessment, which I would ask the court to follow. And in addition, Your Honor, as I indicated earlier, should there be any restitution amount, I will contact the court. But as of this date, the paperwork got sent out, and we have not received any information in that regard. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Maxbauer, is there anything that you want me to know about you or your circumstances before your sentence?
No, Your Honor. I deeply regret what I did. My judgment was very poor, but what I did, truly, there's no excuse for it. That being said, I have chosen, because I am in the public eye, I have chosen to use this extremely poor lapse in judgment as an opportunity. And I intend to conduct myself appropriately in the future. I can assure the court, I can assure my family, I can assure my friends, this will not be repeated in any way, shape, or form. And I am extremely sorry.
Thank you. Ms. Maxbauer, I reviewed the substance abuse assessment, and I don't know you, but certainly I've learned from this that you have had monumental obstacles in your life. So I have faith that you will be able to overcome this also. It's interesting when someone gets to be your age, when you haven't had any trouble with the law, and then something like this happens, because we would think that maybe it never would happen. And as you describe it, you had a terrible lapse in judgment. So part of what I need to do is just make sure that doesn't happen again. And in order to do that, I need to supervise you and test you and make sure that you're not making more bad decisions. Because probably everyone that finds themselves in your position thinks that they will never be back here again for the same thing, but as we all know, several people come back for the same thing. But in an effort to assure that that doesn't happen, there are things that can be provided through supervision. It's not meant to be just a punishment. Certainly there's a punishment aspect, there has to be, because law was broken here. But mostly it is to give you some tools to identify when a lapse of judgment might be coming, so it doesn't happen again. And like I said, in order to do that, I have to supervise you and I have to test you to make sure that you are sticking with the decisions that you're telling me that you've made today.
Yes, Your Honor.
So to do that, what I'm going to do is put you on probation for 12 months. During that time, no alcohol, and they'll be testing. I'm gonna go through the terms. There are some standard terms of probation that we expect you to follow, but also some that are related to your conviction today. So you're not to consume or be in possession of any alcohol. You're not to have any alcohol or illegal drugs where you reside. You're not to enter any bars or casinos or any establishments that serve alcohol by the glass. You're not to behave in a violent, threatening, intimidating, or harassing manner toward anyone. You are to be respectful of all court employees, service, and other care providers. You've already obtained your substance abuse assessment, and now I'm going to order that you follow the recommendations. As Mr. Hubble pointed out, there are 3. One is to attend the Women's Basic Awareness Group. One is to do the Victim Impact Panel, and the other one, of course, is abstinence, no alcohol. You are also to attend the Alcohol Highway Safety Education class. We will continue PBTs once daily and drug testing 2 times a month. I will give discretion to your probation officer if that needs to change either up or down. And also give the probation officer discretionary alcohol and drug screening authority if they want to stop your testing. You will have to complete 3 days of community service in lieu of 6 days of jail. And you must obey all court orders, including payment of the fines and costs that I'll go over with you. You also must report any contact with law enforcement that you may have to your probation officer. Now, some of those are standard terms for anyone that's on probation, and some are meant specifically for this type of probation. There are also fines and costs. There is a $100 fine, $800 cost, $75 crime victims' rights fee, a $50 judicial system fund charge, $125 arresting agency fee, and there's a reimbursement to the prosecutor's office for costs of $19. Gentlemen, I assume there's a probation oversight fee. I don't know what that is.
I believe there is.
I believe there is, Your Honor. We just make it part of that she be required to pay that fee, whatever it is. It's a standard fee. I don't recall right off the top of my head.
You know what it is?
I don't know what that is, so we can
All right.
add it later.
Mr. Cook, any objection to not knowing the exact monthly amount for that?
No, Your Honor, and Ms. Maxbauer will agree to pay that probation oversight fee.
All right. Ms. Maxbauer, do you understand the terms of your sentencing?
If I might have one clarification, Your
Yes.
Honor. Ms. Maxbauer deals with law enforcement all the time, and I take it when you talk about contact, you mean in a negative way.
Well, in a personal way. Does she in her life, not in her position of employment, or I understand from this, you're a community, or you're a county commissioner?
Yes, Your Honor.
Not in the business sense, but
Thank
if
you, Your
there's
Honor.
anything that happens in your life that is not related to that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Maxbauer, I'm not sure what that all totals, because I don't know what the probation oversight fee is, but do you, did you come prepared to pay today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Without the probation oversight fee, total is $1,169. So it'll be somewhat more than that. Do you believe you can pay that all today?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, well, that will complete one of the terms of your probation, then paying your fines and costs and assessments. I'm sure that the court will direct you to probation so you can get set up today. Does anyone have any questions?
Yep, no, Your Honor, I'll direct them to the court clerk's window and they can, make the payment and also schedule an appointment with the probation department.
All right.
We have no questions, Your Honor. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
your discussions this afternoon.
Thank you very much.